In this episode of Detroit Performs, youth orchestras from 2 countries come together to celebrate a sister city anniversary. Classic theater on the streets of Detroit. A chamber musician performs in a historic venue. And a day in the life of a prima ballerina. It's all ahead on this edition of Detroit Performs.
Funding for Detroit Performs is provided by the Michigan Council for Arts and Cultural Affairs and the National Endowment for the Arts, and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, and welcome to Detroit Performs. I'm your host, DJ Oliver, and today I'm at the Hermitage Gallery in Rochester. Often referred to as the DIA of the North, it is 15,000 square feet of fine oil paintings and sculpture in downtown Rochester. Our first segment features the Toyota City Youth Orchestra, traveling to Michigan to celebrate the 55th anniversary of the sister city relationship between Toyota Japan and Detroit. They collaborated with the Detroit Symphony Youth Orchestra for a night full of symphonic fun. Take a look.
I think that music is the world language to communicate with the people. Because the city of Toyota and city of Detroit has been a sister city relationship for many years. So that's the kind of occasions to celebrate this type of a relationship for years. That's why we decided to come over here. So the hardest part is of course, of the music itself. But since this is the 55th anniversary event, so a lot of pressure for Toyota Junior Orchestra, they got it, and they worked very hard to make it, and both worked so much to work on in the very, very detail. So it was a tough situation, although we overcome for this event. In my case, this collaboration together took only 2 days to work to make it happen. However, I led the performance back in Japan separate for a couple times, of course, with the orchestra members. Then Kenneth Thompson, who is a conductor of DSO, he put his own team to work together. So we have separately worked several months. Then we combined together just 2 months, because this is not easy for both are amateur, not a professional, orchestra. But it worked very good that way. At the first beginning, of course, they were a little shy, not talk too much about it. But through 2 days collaboration, they could communicate through the music just like friends. So I was very impressed with them. When at the first time that I heard about the name of Detroit, we were a bit scared. However, once we are here, and we played together with the students, and we lived here for a couple of days. We met a lot of people. We were in the beautiful concert hall, and we had a great time. So once we are back to Japan, I would like to explain those kind of experience that we have in Detroit. So we started from the 2 nations' national anthem. Then we played the Tchaikovsky's March Slab. Then we played a Japanese popular song, which is used in animation film, and that's very popular to the kids. Then we played the Japanese beautiful summer song, kind of folk song. Then we played the Double Jet, number 9, from the New World as a finale.
素晴らしいもんでした。
I think it was a great success. And I heard that the orchestra hall of DSO is one of the top acoustically beautiful concert hall in US and one of 5. So because of our hard work and also addition to it, the concert hall helped us a lot about audio and sound, and it was fantastic result. But I think that there are so many young kids that he brought in. They are first time to come to US, or even they are never been outside of Japan. So, but once they are here, they acquired all kinds of experience, meeting people, meeting friends, get friends, and this type of experience will be very proud of them, and also that will help them to grow another dimension. We have been supported a lot of people, including of course mayors from both sides, both cities in America, and a lot of people helped us, and we would like to do it again. I love Detroit.
Shakespeare in Detroit is a professional acting company founded by Detroit native Sam White. The company uses local actors, crew, and costumers. Let's take a look as they perform Macbeth in Detroit's New Center Park.
Cost $0 to come see Macbeth at New Center Park. It doesn't cost you a dime. The only thing you need to bring is either a blanket or a lawn chair. That's all you have to do.
This is our first day in the park today, so we're going to space things out. And when you move from the rehearsal room to the actual space, there's a transformation that happens with the show. The space here in New Center Park is a lot bigger than where we've been rehearsing. So, you know, we're going to have tents on the sides for the actors to make their entrances from. So they're going to have to travel a much greater distance than they have in the past. So there's going to be a little bit of an adjustment, but we're ready to go. We're ready to seize the bull by the horns.
You seem to understand me by each at once her choppy finger laying upon her skitty lips. Speak if you can. What are you?
All hail, Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Glamis. All hail, Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor.
All hail, Macbeth. Thou shalt be king hereafter.
Good sir, why do you start and seem to fear things that do sound so fair?
Shakespeare in Detroit is Detroit. All of our artists are from Detroit. The crew is actually from Detroit too, or Metro Detroit. Usually everything that we curate is from the city, whether it's set pieces. We'll try to get the set pieces from the city. I'm from Detroit, and then we rehearse in the city. And the reason we rehearse in the city is because I feel that if we did it anywhere else, we wouldn't have Detroit with us, and Detroit is an extra character in the show. So you can feel the spirit of the city when you come see the shows because the people are from the city, because we've rehearsed with the beautiful cityscape kind of surrounding us. It creates a different attitude and a different atmosphere in the rehearsal. It's important that we carry the spirit of the city with us so that when we show up, the audience knows that what they're seeing, what they're feeling, Shakespeare in Detroit is in fact in the city, from the city, and by the city.
Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? In the name of Beelzebub.
Why Macbeth? It's a classic story. It's the story of temptation and ambition, good versus evil.
Your face, my Thane, is as a book where men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, look like the time. Bear welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for, and you shall leave this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall, to all our nights and days to come, give solely sovereign sway and masterdom.
Speak further.
Only look up clear. To alter favor ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
Macbeth starts out, he's basically a good guy. He's happily married to his wife. He's been fighting nobly for his king. You know, he has a very good friend in Banquo. We see him, he's this guy that people envy. And then these witches talk to him, and there's this bit of temptation that sets in, and then his personal ambitions go against his conscience, and he struggles with this. And there's swordplay, there's a lot of adventure, and I think it's a story a lot of people identify with.
Why Shakespeare, especially for a city that is predominantly black? And I would answer that question with why not, especially being a black person myself, a black person who is from the city, from 7 Mile, who went to Mumford High School. Just like children, especially black children, have to have African American history, but at the same time, they need to read Shakespeare. If a child from 7 Mile does not have the ability, whether it's financial or they just don't have the resources to travel or to see anything outside of their block or their city or their state, Shakespeare is their passport to Venice. It is their passport to Rome, their passport to Egypt, their passport to Scotland, where we're going to take them this summer with Macbeth. If they don't have access to that and the ability to see beyond themselves, then we're boxing them in and we're not allowing them the opportunity to dream and to use their imaginations in their own lives. If you only give them literature with characters and people who look like them, it doesn't give them a gateway to other things. And life is so much bigger than what you see in the mirror. Life is so much bigger than what your mom or dad looks like. Life is so much bigger than where you are from. So we have to be exposed to things that are different than ourselves. It is not an and or an or. We should have black literature. We should also have Shakespeare. It is a necessity.
You can learn more about Shakespeare in Detroit at DetroitPerforms.org. Now, let's check out some upcoming events happening in and around the D. To discover more events in Greater Detroit, visit ixity.com. Chamber music has been performing at the Scarab Club since 1998. Next up, we take a closer look at how the musical performances come to life at the historic venue.
Chamber music is when small groups of musicians get together and play pieces that usually are written with no conductor in mind. And the musicians have to play off of one another and really pay attention, and it's great fun and takes a lot of concentration. So you really need to know the score and understand what everybody else is doing. You can't just follow a beat, you have to really play together. And I think because it's such a challenge, it's really enjoyable. It is kind of like a test. I mean, and when it comes out well, you feel you've accomplished something great. lot of chamber music is like a conversation. So you say or play something, one musician plays something and the other musician answers. Sometimes one musician is just sort of under the layer of the solo line. So there's lots of different things going on, and it's a good challenge. It's really something that I would hate to not be able to do.
I'm going to ask you one more terribly unfair question.
Okay.
So you're a member of the Michigan Opera Theater Orchestra. You've played and play with the Detroit Symphony, and you teach bazillions of students.
Well, maybe not bazillions, but...
Well, okay, gazillions. and you have this chamber series at the Scarab Club. Mm-hmm. If you could only do one.
I was afraid you were going to say that. I can't choose. I think that's what's best about my life. You know, that's what I'm most grateful for, is that I can do all of it. It's, I couldn't choose. I just couldn't.
Let's turn off the metronome for a second and play the scale through at least to third position, because I think once you get there, you'll be okay. Let's try it together with the turnaround. I personally, with my teaching, see a lot of excitement across the board. Inner city Detroit kids, suburban kids, all really loving classical music. They love to play it, they love to listen to it. Whether we're always getting everybody to come to concerts and enjoy concerts, I don't know how successful we are. We have to work harder at that. But I think everybody loves this kind of music. Just about everybody loves this kind of music once they get to know it. Our chamber music series became chamber music at the Scarab Club because we found that the Scarab Club was a great place to play, and we started out with classical jam sessions there, where musicians would come and just read music and play for a casual audience. I think that there's a lot of excitement about the arts in Detroit right now. And there are many people, especially young people, who are getting into classical music, all kinds of different music, and they come to programs like ours and are surprised to see how much they can enjoy it. And one of the great things about our series is that it's in a small venue, and people can feel really comfortable and see exactly what's going on. We all need to be ambassadors for what we do and make sure that people understand that it's exciting. We have to show them that we love it and why we love it, or else, you know, people don't know. They won't try it. So we try to encourage people to try it and see if they like it. I see people all the time who come to our concerts who are from other cities. I met somebody just this morning at the Scarab Club, who was here for an exhibit at the DIA, and she was saying, I keep hearing bad things about Detroit, but it's a wonderful city. I mean, there's so much going on with a great museum and classical music everywhere and lots of opportunities. Yeah, I think that Detroit gets a very bad reputation for no good reason, especially now. There's plenty going on.
In our final segment, we meet ballet dancer Samantha Lewis, who gives us a look at her life as a ballerina, both on stage and off.
I get up around 7:30 and leave around 8:30. Just in the morning, normal getting ready things, hair, makeup, normal girl things. Class starts at 9:15, and I spend about 30 to 45 minutes doing kind of a pre-class routine that I do. We have our ballet master, ballet mistress, our artistic director, and then a couple teachers from the academy that teach us. And there's a pretty standard order of exercises we do. There's always a way that you can be more expressive with your feet and the way that you're using your feet against the floor. You can always be more pulled up through your torso. You can always be softer with your port de bras or sharper with the dynamic of your legs. As soon as you think you've figured something out, you really realize that you have not figured it out at all. And there's a pretty standard order of exercises we do. Pliés, tendus, dégagés, rond de jambes, fondu, frappe, grand battement, adagio. And then we come into the center, and that's a little bit more free form in terms of what order, what combinations are given. Every dancer likes their shoes a little bit different. We go through about 40 pairs a year. So at the beginning of the year, we have 40 pairs of brand new shoes. There's all sorts of tricks that you kind of learn growing up, and every dancer likes it a little different.
You should do that one where you go and get a
Our ankle joints get jammed a lot from the point work. Our trainer will work on releasing all the muscles around the ankle joint, calf muscles, and then she'll typically try to adjust the joint to going back to its normal functioning position.
See? How much better it is when I get it to go?
When I had my ankle surgery, I really promised myself that I was going to do everything that I could to prevent any sort of future injuries to my ankles, get rid of some of the inflammation in my body, and it's kind of like pushing reset on my lower legs a little bit. When you put on a costume that you absolutely love, it is really the finishing touch on a performance that you've already worked so hard on. We're already critical and judgmental of ourselves, so the last thing you want to add on to that is being overly critical of yourself because of what you're wearing. Everyone is the most focused they've been in the rehearsal process the week leading up to the show. There's a real sense of camaraderie. We're all in this together. We want to put our best foot forward and really show everyone what we can do. The way that people step in for each other, the community that we've created is just so wonderful to work in. Ultimately, we are all competing for the same roles day in and day out. Anybody going out for a part against you is only going to push you to be that much better. I've done all of the steps a million times. I'm completely ready to do it. This person picked me for this part out of this company of people. I'm realizing that I will actually get closer to the performances that I want to give by letting go of trying to be perfect. Every time I step on stage, I remind myself of how lucky I am to be able to do what I do. Just, gratitude.
And that wraps it up for this edition of Detroit Performs. As always, for more arts and culture, head to DetroitPerforms.org, where you'll find featured videos, blogs, and information on upcoming arts events. Also, check us out on Facebook and Twitter. I'd like to thank the Hermitage Gallery for having us out here today. Until next Tuesday, get out there and show the world how Detroit performs, y'all. I'm DJ Oliver. Thanks for watching, guys.
Funding for Detroit Performs is provided by the Michigan Council for Arts and Cultural Affairs and the National Endowment for the Arts, and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.